Our next poet this evening is a well-known figure on the literary scene in Vancouver. He's the author of five chapbooks of poetry and one collection of poems. His poems have appeared in various Canadian literary magazines, CBC Radio, The Rolling Stone. He hosts the monthly Hogan's Alley open poetry readings in Chinatown and co-hosts the Pandora's Collective Twisted Poet series at the Prop House on Venables. He's also the former editor of literary magazine Horsefly. Come on up, Timothy Shay.
Wow, last time I read at Poetry in the Park, wasn't raining, but there were about 5 people here. This is a nice turnout. Hey, well, I have some new stuff I'm writing, and the idea is kind of, I have a lot of anecdotes, most of us do, little stories. I'm trying to string them together like Christmas lights, and you might not see the wire that holds the Christmas lights, but it's there.
I think you need to move the mic up, Timothy.
Oh, yes, okay, there we go. My voice is a little quiet today. I've just spent 8 hours with 10-year-olds at the daycare. So the sequence I'm writing, which is kind of a combined narrative and lyric sequence, is going to be called Dangerous French Kisses of the Early 60s. And really, so far it has very little to do with French kisses and more to do with my bad relationship with my father. Okay, so this is the first section, and it's about a second draft. And then I have some new stuff from the second section which hasn't even been edited. One lump or two, buddy. One lump or two. They discover all my old homes and demolish them. Recycled cereal boxes contained the goods and then were empty, posed in their best moments as curators of the spectral memory of past breakfasts. The spirit of such things, the golden wheat fields waving, everything just right in the free world of memory, while the houses there are splinters or ash or part of the smoke casting up pretty red sunsets all of hot August. They missed the corner where she pinned me against the spider webs, kissing me with the dangerous French kisses of the early 60s. 50 years in that dark alcove on Johnson Road holds this memory like a bird in a fist. Missed alcove of webs and the tree of reality. They missed the ancient path traversed, bent over through blackberry and scrub brush above the serpentine Campbell River, twisting below the low stick flight of blue heron, below the track leaving town for the Wild West across the arch border to the land of pistol-whipped intelligence and empowered sacks of hammers. Tigris, Euphrates, blue, 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 arguments. Arguments, the old yellow corn broom, inanimate, tucked between the fridge and the arborite counter. Sweep for or against the curved tip. For, against, the correct way to hold your fork and knife. British or farmhand, high Anglican or colonial hick. Christmas tree lights, as colorful as clown noses at a shrine circus, or as blue as an Elvis Presley album. Blue, blue, blue. Once upon a time, on a bright spring morning, he discovered a lump on his groin as he was frying bacon naked. He went to the local naturopath. She told him it was a congress of malevolent toxins meeting and that the obvious cure was bracken fern. Instructed, he climbed the nearby mountain, and a wide meadow was discovered, an acreage of bracken fern, belly button high, exposed, and undressed, he ran, as instructed, through the fern, the lump on his groin flagellated until he ran into a bear. The bear looked closely, and they both turned and bolted, fled to the forest on the opposite side of the meadow, and the lump was gone. My uncle stood at one end of the open coffin. My brother's long corpse looked dead. I stood at the other end, observed the ligature bruises that makeup failed to cover on his dead neck. 200 Mormons filed by the open coffin, shaking my uncle's hand, saying of the stiff, "He looks good," when he looked dead. Then each filed by, shaking my hand, saying, "You look just like him." He took the back seat out of the old Envoy Epic. He packed a lunch of bologna sandwiches soaked with yellow Kraft mustard, put his World War I surplus Enfield bolt action 303 in the trunk, and headed north from the lower mainland toward Prince George. Every year he would return within 4 days, the back seat space stuffed with chunks of moose. If you eat a lot of roast moose and find it gamey, the trick is a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar as a marinade before roasting. Works perfect. And here he comes, the ghost of the Envoy Epic, stuffed with the greens and golds of winter squash. We are prepared, and he is not aware of how much he reminds me of Salvador Dali. Mormon funeral potatoes, vats of holy jello, blessed by fat beef farming patriarchs, saying goodbye in a chapel as impersonal as a tomato sandwich in the shopping center parking lot. The sing-songy hymns of crazy-making pave the picnic road with gold, imagined gold in a place where it snows cold, hard cash. All of August, the old yellow corn broom, inanimate, tucked between the fridge and the arborite counter, sweep for or against the curved tip, for, against, the correct way to hold your fork and knife, British or farmhand, high Anglican or colonial hick. The Christmas tree lights, as colorful as a clown nose at a shrine circus, or as blue as an Elvis Presley album. Blue, blue, blue. The lump is gone.